Okay, hang on. What does... Okay. Okay, so here's a question. Okay, does quantum healing work on someone who won't acknowledge or work to transform subconscious pattern? Yeah. People, here's the thing. Most people's resistance actually isn't them, just so you know. A lot of people's resistance is other things in them. Sometimes it's discarnate, sometimes it's belief system, sometimes it's wounding. Okay, you just don't know till you get in there and find out. But the bottom line is this: the work doesn't need anybody's belief system. It doesn't need anybody to do anything. It's energy. We're clearing energy. And when we clear energy, shift happens. Period. That's it. Okay, what is this right here? Okay, in fundamentals of shamanic energy healing, do we learn how to accelerate spiritual journeys for others? How do we know when someone is ready to be accelerated? I don't, here's the thing. I don't know if Chris is actually teaching people how to accelerate people. I mean, I do it. I teach it in my program, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, unfortunately. But the bottom line is this, you're in the fundamentals, you're going to get the basics of what, we do here. The basics of all the foundations of all the work that we do is in that fundamentals program, which you would need. I mean, if you want to be here's another thing too, people. This isn't just be a healer. This is a career. You know what I'm saying? You have an opportunity to have a career having one of the most powerful healing modalities in the world. Okay. So think of it as a career. You invest in your career. But yeah, I teach it. I don't know if Chris does. Okay. When overwhelmed with emotions, how do you know which energy or emotion to feel first? How can you keep from constantly feeling overwhelmed when overwhelmed with emotions? Okay. Here's the thing. If you're overwhelmed with emotions, it doesn't matter. Just pick anyone. Pick any emotion. Go for the sadness. Okay. But surrender to it all the way. And how can you keep from constantly feeling overwhelmed? Do your inner work. It's pretty basic, people. Francis, you're so cute. Okay. Yeah, so the overwhelm is coming because you got too much unconscious wounding in your subconscious is being activated. You got to go through these emotions to get through the overwhelm. Okay, and when you're feeling a lot of emotions, again, just pick one. Start with one. Go there. Take it all the way. Then go to the next one. Okay. All right. Why do some people feel worse after a healing session? And is that a sign as okay? So sometimes what's happening, think about this, okay? You got hundreds of lifetimes, you got hundreds of issues, you got massive wounding, okay? We start taking energy off, and what's been buried starts to come up. So sometimes it feels like it gets worse, okay? But just keep going. I'm telling you, keep going no matter what, keep going, okay? This work does change you, guaranteed. Okay. Okay, hang on. How do you know if you're feeling how do you know if what you're feeling is yours or energy? Well, yeah, you don't. Okay, so if you're feeling something, well, actually you can tell. Most of the time you really can. You can feel the energy and you can go, that's not me. Okay, because it's not deep inside. You might be feeling it more surfacey or whatever, but there's different ways of, just knowing it's not you. But most of the time, if you've been living with the emotions that are not yours and in your most of your life, you won't know the difference. Okay, you just won't until it's gone. Okay, hang on here. Okay. In some healing modalities, we're not allowed to do healing on people without their consent. Here it seems to be okay to call people in during clearings, and some other modalities allow either or. What to believe. Okay, so here's the deal. Those beliefs are old paradigm. Got it? So think about this. Do you know anybody who doesn't want to be happy? Tell me one person who really doesn't want to be happy. Here's the deal. Everyone wants to be happy. Okay. Old paradigm's over. We no longer have to get permission from a person or even at their soul levels, because it's all about the acceleration. We're in an acceleration. We're in the new paradigm. Everything is changing. It's all about waking up. Okay. If you're here on planet Earth, you're meant to wake up. So these are all belief systems, people. Okay, so the belief systems are dissolving, going away, and it's not going to, it's like you're going to discover more and more of that dissolving and going away. Here's Chris. Okay, so Icelandic angel. If you're worried about getting permission, go direct to their higher levels. Go direct to their super consciousness. I guarantee you're going to get the go ahead, because everybody wants to be happy. And again, that's the old paradigm, people. You have all these belief systems in the old paradigm. We're not in the old paradigm anymore. So it's like, wake up. Hey, Chris.
Hey, sorry, I got the time wrong today. My apologies. My apologies, everyone. Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. Can you perform healing on? Hang on. What? Okay, we got some questions here. Can you perform healing on others, and if their higher levels don't want it, then it won't happen? See, again, people. Okay, these are beliefs from the old paradigm. Okay, in the new paradigm, it's all about waking up. Chris, right? This is what we're doing here. We're waking up, right? And it's no longer about, the soul doesn't want it, or the person doesn't want it. Remember, I just got through saying most people don't even know why if they don't want something, it's usually because there's an interference, or there's a discarnate, there's a belief, there's something. The true person wants to be healed. I guarantee it. Right, Chris?
Absolutely. Yeah. Life is looking for a way to help them unravel it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. What was this?
Cool. Loads of good questions.
Yeah. Okay, here's a question. Can you go ahead and answer this one? How do I know if my intuition is blocked, and will this program help me reconnect with it?
If you, in your life, you are going about and things are always a little off, and you're never quite dialed in at the right time. You're not meeting the opportunity in the right time. You're missing certain things. That would be a sign that there's something that you're not aware of or listening to. But I think for most people, it's that their intuition isn't blocked. It's just that they haven't learned to listen to it. So we actually all do get that information all the time, and it could come as a feeling, like a gut feeling. It could come as just like I think I need to check in on my friend today, or I think I need to go to this shop, or I need to go into the library. And it's just a random thing that, doesn't, for some reason or other, you want to do this and you don't normally do it. And then if you do that thing, there's a reason why, and you find out it's to meet this person. It's because there was a thing there. It's because, et cetera, et cetera. That person just lost someone and they need support. But often we've learned to not listen to this sense. So the first thing is to actually listen to the signals that are already happening to in your life, following that intuition. And I have to say, doing this kind of work really boosts that signal. I know that my time around Bonnie made that. Whenever I've hung out with Bonnie, that signal gets really loud for me. And it's like a very strong body feeling for me. That's like a very strong physical gut feeling knowing. That's gets stronger and stronger. Yeah. How do I know if my intuition is blocked? I think you're probably just not listening to it. That's the main area people get tripped up on, is they don't actually trust that voice. They don't give it enough airtime. And so the program helps by really kind of aligning your whole energy and consciousness with your higher levels, because the whole method of healing is basically aligning with the light, with divinity, and with the knowing. So when we do the work, we're operating from this knowing, the same knowing that's saying, okay, I need to call my friend because I think there's something going on with them, or I need to go to this store today, and then life unfolds and you find out why. That's the same knowing that we're tuning into while we're working. And the more you do it, the more it amplifies, the more your system looks for it all the time, and you get sort of increasingly dialed in on it, until eventually it becomes natural, because it already is a natural sense. We've just trained ourselves to ignore it as part of our linear mental framework of our human culture. But really this stuff is very natural. So if your intuition doesn't feel natural, that's how you know it's blocked. And yep, the program is training that skill, that capacity to trust your knowing, to trust yourself, and to pay attention. Basically, pay attention is the number one place to start with all of these traditions. It's to pay attention to what's already happening that we're ignoring. Yeah.
Good. All right, cool. All right, here's another one. Can I really learn to see and track energy, especially if I've never done anything like this before?
Yeah, you can. I did. I
Yeah.
could not see energy or track energy before I trained with Bonnie, and during the program, that stuff started opening up for me, and I began to really be able to do it. It took me training and practice to really get good at it, but yeah, you absolutely can, even if you can't see and track it yet. Yeah, and there's specific things. Most people are shut down from seeing because they subconsciously, there's some trauma they don't want to see any more of. They don't want to see, they don't actually want to see, they don't want to face what they've been through in past lives. They don't want to see any more pain and suffering. They don't want to see any more of that. They're shut down. They've got a lot of fear and trauma. So we know that, and we're addressing some of those issues through the class. Particularly the Dark Force class goes into really working where you're caught up around that stuff, because some of us just doesn't want to see because we're afraid to see things that have harmed us before, times where we've gone through certain experiences. So some people, they don't, it's quite specific like that.
Yep, absolutely. And just a reminder what Chris said, here's the thing, we're all born intuitive. Every being is intuitive, okay? We just shut it down, negate it, move away from it, but ultimately everyone is an intuitive, everyone. Okay, here's another one. Okay, so this one's been called to be a healer. How do I step into that role with confidence and real skill? Take the program. Yeah.
Start doing it.
Yeah. And people, I'm going to tell you straight up, it takes practice, okay? It takes years to be a really good healer. To do what we do, it takes years. But that doesn't mean that you can't keep doing things, because you got to, once you learn, you keep practicing and you just get better and better and better. Okay, so. Okay, what kind of support will I get in the program to make sure I'm actually growing and not just going through the motions?
Yeah, great question. So the big part of that is through the supervised pods. So in class and then outside of class, twice in that month, you'll meet in a small group with 3 other participants in the class and an accelerator, and you'll work on each other in a very supervised setting, whether somebody trained in Bonnie's system will be like me, another accelerator will be watching what you're doing and tuning in and tracking with you and giving advice, feedback. Oh, okay, yep, you got that, but actually track and feel for this in their system. Let's go after that. Let's see what happens then. And helping you to actually gain the skill of it, and giving you feedback about it. So you actually have some support and some feedback that's from someone that knows what you're doing. That's really key, actually. That's one of the big places to learn is through that kind of system. I would say that's the main one. Bonnie, is there anything else that you would say to answer that?
Yeah, no, you know what? It's true, because you're in pods. Part of the pods that's in between classes is you've got an accelerator. Okay, they're watching, they're learning, they're going to help you. Okay, they're going to tell you you're off or you're on or you're good or whatever. Okay, so you're not just, you're not just practicing on your own. You've got a teacher with you. Okay, at all the pods, you got a teacher here with Chris. Okay, so we don't just, give you information that let you just flop around. Okay, we're helping you, we're guiding you. Okay. Okay, this is pretty much along the same lines, Chris. This is like, how will the practice pods and mentor sessions accelerate my ability to sense, shift, and clear energy? Yeah, so that's pretty much the same. And then, okay, here's another question here. This is a good one. Will it be possible to work on others after one graduates from fundamentals?
100%. And I started working on people, I think during the fundamentals program as well. But it's easiest to work on people in your class during the process because you're still learning the skill of it. You're still gaining still getting familiar with the territory. But totally, this is what the course is designed to do, is to give you a really strong framework to be able to work on people and really help people with their stuff. And then it's just a question of practice and deepening that skill, which you need. So you need to work on people to keep deepening it. So you should work on people after you graduate from fundamentals.
And you should actually be working on everybody you can get your hands on. Okay.
Yes.
You guys,
yes.
That's what I did. Okay. When I started working with people, I was so excited about, what I was doing that I got my kids, my family, my sister, my mother, anybody I could get. Okay. So I'm telling you, it's a devotion, people, but there's nothing like it. There's nothing more fulfilling. I mean, I changed people's lives drastically. It's almost like miracles. It's not miracles. It's just moving energy. But for people, it feels like miracles have happened. Okay. You can do this. You can be a part of this. Okay. Here's another good one. How do I help support someone who is kind of a bit afraid of energy work? A lot of people are afraid of energy work.
That's a really good question. And sometimes it's just how you talk about it. So you just don't use any words which are going to if they're religious or if they don't have a sense of spiritual stuff, you just change your language and you go, oh, it's kind of about patterns of consciousness and energy. And I've got a sort of process where I help people feel through things, and then it's sort of we go through a process where we help release the thing. So you just kind of softball them into it. And then you do things to make them feel safe with it. If they want to go, if they actually want to go there with you, but they're just afraid of it, you just set it up in a way where you can help them fall into a place of trust. So your voice might get more reassuring, and you're helping them get in their body, help them connect to their own feelings, because that's what it's really about. Help them feel what's going on in them, and then begin to engage with their process. And don't use a lot of triggering words, but just help start getting in there. You're moving the energy. Once they can feel what it's doing for them, then they're all in. Once people can feel that it's making a difference and they can feel what you're doing, even people who are, 100% atheist scientists, I find completely fall for this work, or who don't have a reference point for it. If you can help them, then they're in. But just do it gently and respectfully, and don't use any crazy language to start with.
Yeah, don't be saying demons and stuff like that, okay? Yeah, it's true. Just your languaging is everything, and you can help people understand that everything's energy, and energy attracts. And it's like, just tell the truth, but don't tell like Chris is saying, okay? Because people are afraid of this work. Okay, Chris, what does 1 weekend of training a month look like? Will we have breaks and practices, and or what else?
Yes, so there are breaks and practices. What it typically looks like is each module has certain themes and teachings as part of it. So it's one particular area of the work. So like past lives, there'll be one module devoted towards working with that. And there will be some teaching around it. So some information stuff around, okay, this is what this is our context for it, this is our model. Then there'll be experiential practices where we'll plug the group into the energetics of that. So there might be kind of like an energy transmission and or journey kind of experience. And then there'll be practice where you are taken into a sort of a practice where you'll be working on each other to try and track and feel and sense and move that kind of energy. There'll be breaks in between all of those. There'll be pods at the end of the day. So it goes from teaching, practice, sort of in breaks, bit of teaching, bit of practice, and then supervised practice at the end, where you sort of try and integrate and express the work. You actually try and do a bit more of it under supervision, and then we would just repeat it the next day. So it's like that each module for a particular theme. So past lives is one, working with entities and beings is one, working with the dark force will be one, and we take it module by module like that. And at the end, you're integrating it, so you put all of those pieces together organically as part of a whole flexible system of healing. So you've got all these different tools and awarenesses to draw upon when you're working with the person in front of you.
Okay. Does the part of the training assist students as healers having a business and career?
So there's a module that at the end of the course that we started in the last iteration of fundamentals called sort of practitioner skills, and it goes into some of that stuff in terms of thinking about insurance, thinking about some of the practical obstacles that you get as a healer in a business or career, how to manage certain kinds of clients that can be tricky, how to think about promoting yourself. I would say it's not a huge part of the course because we devote really the course to learning the skill and ability of it. But we try and bridge people into a practical sense of thinking it through and planning that side of it, because it is important. You know, you have to be willing to think in that way and to learn. If you want to run a business, you've got to learn to operate in that kind of way, which is another skill. You know, it may be some of you already have that skill from other things, and then others of you would need to build that skill. But we can talk about and learn about the aspect of it that relates to healers, which in different countries means different insurance and different kinds of what you can say in marketing and how to promote yourself, basically. So yeah, we cover some of that.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, that some people, for those who do join the team, I mean, it's like you have an instant business. I'm doing all the work. I'm building everything. You come in, we help you get your page done, and you show up and you get clients. Okay. So we've already done that part. Okay. How can healing reach parts of us? Okay. How can energy healing reach parts of us we've hidden from ourselves?
Yes. Well, typically that would be if you're going to a really good healer. So if you're going to an accelerator, someone who's trained in this, they can perceive into your subconscious. They can look into what you're not aware of. They can be tracking things you have no conscious awareness of in your issue. So you may be aware of, that, you're anxious whenever you get into a relationship, but you may not know why, or you may have a story about why, but it may not really be what's going on. If somebody's trained themselves to be able to track, they can track from where that's coming from, which could be from other lifetimes, it could be from early childhood stuff, it could be from other beings that have nothing to do with you. So all our issues, we actually don't know what's going on with them. If we were clear about our issues, we wouldn't have them. We would have processed them and seen them. But actually, we have no idea. Most of us have no idea about the issues that we have. The thing about learning to feel and sense the parts of yourself is that we also train to do that. So in the course, Bonnie's taught this to me in terms of really going into the subconscious and working in the module that we call Healer Heal Thyself. It's about how to go underneath the mind into the energy, not from a mental place, and to face the energy as it is. And in that way, you can actually go very deep into things that you're not really consciously aware of at all, and genuinely release and experience and process them in a way that can help set you free. That was probably one of the most valuable things I learned from you, Bonnie, and it's a big part of your work. So yeah, you absolutely can find parts that you've hidden from yourself. That's a huge part of the system. Actually, is designed to do that.
Yeah, and then two, people, when you do your inner work, like when you're going in and into the feeling states, when you get activated, you're going to discover many parts of yourself. You're going to understand beliefs that you had, conclusions that you had, because things get revealed when you go in and you're processing and knowing yourself in an experience of some kind of emotional pain that you're in. And that will take you into your subconscious. It will show you your own self. I've learned so much, even in these you guys, think about this. I've been doing my own inner work since 1984, okay? And I've been teaching this class since 94, the program. And I had some of the best realizations this is last year, okay? So you don't know, but just keep showing up and life will change. Guaranteed. All right, Deepak right here. Okay. Can you share experiences of working with animals? Yeah, I mean, I've had cat or critters and take stuff out, and their whole behavior changes. When the movie I'm in, Awaken Soul to Soul, the director, their cat, we were in Santa Fe, and we were staying together, and the cat was not eating, and it's like it had a big old dark energy in it. So I took that energy out. Cat started eating, started playing like a young cat again. You know what I'm saying? And I did, done other things. So, yeah, critters.
Yep, I had a cat that went missing for 2 weeks. Found it under someone's shed, starving. Been probably gone after by foxes, and it was super traumatized for years afterwards. This really nervous cat, and I was sort of waiting for it to calm down. At one point, I went, "You know what? This is going on too long," and I just went in and cleared what I could find of the trauma, and her behavior changed overnight. And she just didn't run around the room spontaneously anymore. Didn't lose her shit as much. She still had a bit of a charge around it, but she just changed back from this sort of something had not processed right. So animals respond really well to the work. They respond really well, especially because they haven't got a mind, so much sort of mind consciousness to kind of get in the way of the healing. Yeah, you can go in and work with them just the same.
Yeah. Okay, Ellen, here's another. Okay, can you work on people without their knowledge, or you have to work face to face? That's a good one. No, you don't need their knowledge. We do surrogate all the time. Again, people want to be happy, okay? So sometimes we work with parents with their kids, sometimes with their husbands with their wives, or wives for their husbands, whatever. We do surrogate kind of work. People are always wondering about someone they care about, someone they love, so people want to help those loved ones. So we don't need knowledge or working face to face, okay? Again, anchor this in. Every being wants to be happy. We're in the new paradigm. The old ways are done. The old ways are over. Everything's accelerated. Okay.
And if you can work with them face to face, it will typically be better. Like get better results if they're conscious, and then they can go deeper with the process. Basically, they're ready for deeper transformation. There's still stuff you can do with people if you don't have that, but it's just different.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, Sam, early bird. Okay, hang on. How do you discover what is involved in blocks, discarnates, dark forces, aliens, others, rage, or negative energies against us? How do you discover? Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. I mean, basically, for me, as soon as someone starts talking, I'm tracking, I'm looking. That's how you find stuff. That's how you discover stuff, okay? People talk. When it's a discarnate, usually it's pretty blatantly clear it's a discarnate, okay? When it's dark forces, it's pretty clear. It's all of this. Your emotions, everything presents. You're showing stuff. You're showing, as soon as you open your mouth, you're giving us the story. And anybody who can track energy and read the energy will understand what's presenting, okay? So it's all about just tracking the energy, paying attention, listening. It's pretty simple. Okay, what do we got? Okay, because I'm just saying. Do you see any more questions in here that we didn't answer, Chris?
Paro sent me a few from that someone has sent in by email. I don't know if you answered them maybe before I got on. How does this program support someone who's afraid of facing old wounds, of opening up pain without a guaranteed breakthrough? Is that a question you looked at?
Yeah. Can you pin that one? Can you do it?
Let me pop it in the chat. Yeah. I'm not sure I can. I can put it here.
Mhm. Yeah, did everybody see the video where Sahar was working on Cynthia? I mean, it was a longer, Cynthia broke it down so you just get the basics, but she did a great job. A good shift happened for Cynthia. Okay, yeah.
So I've put this one in the private chat to the left of the comments because that's what I can type in.
Okay. Asking for friends. Can you speak to the universe now? Okay. Okay, what is this one? Hang on, what is this? I don't know what this is. Asking for friends. Can you speak to the universality of awakening to our essence and connection with the light part of this work? Whatever our theology references points to the form of divine. Asking for friends. Can you speak to the universe? Do you understand what that question is?
I think so. I think they're just saying, essentially, I think what they're getting at is that there's only one divinity. There's only one. And whatever religion or spiritual perspective you have, it's still only, they can only be talking about the same thing. And awakening to that is what we're doing. Of course, we have a lot of different frameworks and cultures that have expressed that understanding in different paths, but it's the same. It's the same. How could it be different? So our work is about trying to align with that, and we're waking up partly through energy healing, through processing and releasing patterns, so that you're more able to contact and see and perceive the light that you are. Yeah. So it's a particular kind of accelerated path for that.
Okay. Oh, here. What is this? This is the link, I think. Fundamentals. Is that our link? What is that to? Shamanic healing? Is that for the class, or I don't know?
Yeah, that would be a link to the class.
Okay, got it. Yeah, the fundamentals. That's right. Your program. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yep. So if you didn't see Cynthia's clip, that was really cool. So it was like 2 minutes or something. She broke it down. It was 2 hours, and then she broke it down. It was pretty cool. You see energy, energy moving. All right.
So I just want to address the question that someone had sent in saying, how does the program support someone who's afraid of old wounds opening up without a guaranteed breakthrough? And just to say that it does take quite a lot of courage to face those things. But the course is a really good container for it, because it's 8 months basically of, it's like a pressure cooker. And part of the intention of the course is to move you along on your path. So whatever deep issues you have, part of the intention of the course is to help move them along. We won't get all your stuff, but part of the underlying intention of the course is that it's a healing in itself. And it gives you a framework and a context and community to drop in and feel into those places. So you kind of just have to decide that at some point that you want to do it, that you want to face those places. And you may need different kinds of support, or you may need to be in a different time in your life where you feel like strong enough. But essentially, unless you do go there, it's, you know that you're never gonna get that to open up. So you have to make the decision. Is it more painful for me to live with this, or for me to face what's there? And actually facing it, once you do, it's the most beautiful thing. It's where you find all of the light and presence and the beauty of your being that's been pushed away somewhere. So it's more than worth it. You just have to decide that you can't live with it anymore, and it's worth doing. But the course is a really good place to do that, because it's got a lot of support. Yeah. Each module is a healing, really, as well, around some of those threads and issues. That's the way that we run it. It's a lot of clearings, and you're doing trades on each other throughout the course as well. So there's a lot of one-to-one work. So it's a really good container as a personal healing. Some people take it really just to advance as a kind of a personal healing, because they want to go deeper into their issues, because they want to clear up certain things and move forward, not because they want to be healers. So yeah, that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's Byron. How do we look to heal a part of us we may be afraid of facing? I mean, this is, you guys, the truth is you're going to be afraid to face anything. Okay, look in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and see how long you can just look into your own eyes. You're going to get uncomfortable. Okay, so how do you heal that part? Well, you just have, it's kind of like you make the decision, you make the choice. You know, even one time will get you moving. You know, one time, one clearing, one time, just move forward. I mean, everybody's afraid to look at themselves. Everybody's afraid to see what's in there because they don't know what's in there. It's in your subconscious. So,
yeah. Just be willing. Just be willing.
You got it. Just be willing. Okay, here's another one. Do former students have to restart from foundations or have other pathways to bridge in? I don't think I understand that.
If they've already taken foundations, that's now called fundamentals, can they go straight to training with you in the second stage?
Yeah. Okay, then it goes, as long as a student has taken foundations or fundamental and has graduated, they may then take level 2. Oh, Para wrote that. Yeah, got it. Yeah, so the next steps are, like, we have a apprenticeship program, apprenticeship with David, right? Chris is with David.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got that. You also have the program with me, you know, so once you've taken the basics with, you know, the fundamentals with Chris, then you can go to the next level. Okay, we have it till you can go all the way and become a healer, as well as, you know, you can even become a teacher with us. Yeah, it's advanced. Okay. Yeah, so this is the live one I do, live mastery with me. And then you have the advanced with David, advanced, you know, apprenticeship stuff with David. So, you know, you got the heavy hitters, you know, Chris, myself, and David. All three of us are heavy hitters in all this training stuff. Cool. All right. Yeah. What? I looked at. Yeah. So I looked in the mirror the other day by accident. Yeah, you know, y'all might want to just start standing, look in the mirror, look right into your eyes, and stay there and see what happens. I used to do that in when I did the workshops. We did mirror work. We'd put people in front of the mirror, and you'd have to, and then you start talking, whatever, you know.
Cool. Have we lost Bonnie? It's a good opportunity for me to answer the question. Chris, what is your favorite part of the training?
Something happened.
Yeah, you're back.
Back. So there's what is your favorite part of the training?
There's too many favorite parts. Each class has its own special thing that's different for me, and sometimes it's spontaneous. I didn't expect us to go there, but we do. So it's a little different. Basically, it's the transformation I see in people. That's what I love about it, is seeing people come in with whatever, and then they're doing all this deep work, and then facing that certain things and getting lots of support and healing with them, and then how the change of it. Because in client work, it's really exciting, but you might only see people for a few sessions, right? Or even one session. But for the fundamentals, you get to be with people for 8 months. So the amount of change is phenomenal, and getting to see people go through that's my favorite part. But I also love all the journeys and tracking, and you know, that really sort of does it for me. It's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, and then there are more opportunities to join after September. I mean, we're going to be teaching this program indefinitely, people. So, yeah. Psychedelics involved? No, not in class. No.
Your consciousness will be altered.
You'll think you're on psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. Traditional shamanism makes use of all all of that kind of stuff. But the thing is that if you need it, or you can only go there by taking it, then it's not so good. You don't have the flexibility. What if you don't have your stuff, or you have to do a 9 to 5 alongside wanting to help someone, and you can't do it because you have to take all of this tree bark, and then, it's just not convenient. So what we train is basically how to actually perceive and open your senses so you can track energy without needing them, which is what the plants are meant to teach you. They're meant to show you, oh, there is this world, and then you're not meant to depend on them, but you can actually learn to go there yourself. That's the purpose of them.
You're saying, then I'm not interested.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just so y'all know, I mean, like Chris is saying, you guys, here's the thing. Psychedelic or altered states of consciousness through ingesting something up your nose or whatever, this has been part of the shaman's journey for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so it's pretty normal for shamans to use psychedelics to open things up, to expand their consciousness, to expand their awareness. I've had many years and years of a lot of journey work, a lot. Okay, changed me, opened me, woke me up to many, many things that you'll never get without that tool. Okay, but we don't do that in our program. We teach you how to do it all without using, mind-altering drugs or psychedelics or anything. We don't use drumming anymore. We don't use breath anymore. We don't use rattles or feathers. We're a new paradigm. We have stepped into the new paradigm, and this is what we teach. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can experience a lot of trippy stuff without psychedelics. Just step into our world someday and look at what we're looking at every day when we work with people. We can't make this stuff up, right, Chris? It's like, whoa, where's this coming? What?
No, it's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazier than anything you can see on TV or anything you could dream up.
I like this one. You're fantastic, Chris. Yes, you are. Yeah. All righty. So I'm going to need to get going. So I got a client. Do you want to hang out more, or do you want to?
Yeah, I can hang out. If there are some more questions, I'll hang around.
So you can do it, right? You can do the scrolling thing and all that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to, I'll something.
We'll leave and I'll stay.
I'm going to remove. Okay.
Yep. Cool. How does getting started happen? In terms of the work, in terms of on the program, I think if you've got a desire to help other people, and you also want to, or you want to unravel what's going on for you, and you're drawn to this kind of energetic approach, then those are the starting ingredients. In essentially for the whole process, the starting point is awareness. It's starting with what is going on inside of myself. How do I pin a comment? I'm not sure I've got the. I'll read them anyway. I can't pin them at the moment. But basically, it starts with awareness. Awareness is actually what you are. It's your nature. It's what you really are behind all of the filters and veils of your consciousness and your body and your mind. Your awareness, and that awareness is also light and love. And it's where we come from, and it's where the only place we'll ever be. And that awareness is what the work is rooted in. And we want to wake up out of being asleep and be able to recognize what's actually happening. So as awareness starts going deeper, and it goes deeper into your experience, deeper into your reality, and start paying attention to these things that might have been subtle before or intangible, they then become obvious and clear. And if you're dropping deeper and deeper into that awareness, there'll be a sense of truth and the knowing that switches on. Things that aren't in resonance with that awareness and truth just seem off, and things that are will be like, there'll be like a little light that comes on, and it's like, yes. So when you're tracking things, you'll have an internal compass about, oh, is this, or am I off on that? It looks like it's this, or no, that's what that is. And you'll recognize things for what they are. So awareness has the capacity, just to simply, because it's awareness itself, to recognize things for what they are. That's where the work starts. So the work just starts with being aware of yourself, being aware of your experience, paying attention to things. If you can pay attention to your body and how you're feeling, that's a big part of it. If you can pay attention to your emotional positions, if you can pay attention to your subtle energy experience. So when you're with people and they are, depending on who they are, you might get a different feeling around them, a different vibration. You might have a different emotional experience around them. Pay attention to all of these things. That's actually tracking, just in a very kind of base kind of form. And then what we could do in class is actually learn to use those senses. And for some people, it's very feeling oriented. For some people, it's a visual thing. For some people, it's hearing information. We want to expand and explore all of those, but we'll get them. There are specific processes and exercises that I'll take you through to start tuning into people in the class and tracking them while they're giving you an issue, and begin to feel into, okay, they coming with this issue around, let's say, anxiety, and I'm going to ask them to remember it, feel into it, drop into it, and I'm going to sort of extend my awareness to meet them, to meet their energy, and start sensing into it, start picking it up. And over time, you get more and more and more of a skill of being able to pick up and precisely then track and discern what's going on. And inside of that, we'll start looking at all of the different components, past lives, emotional blocks, other beings, if that's relevant as part of the picture, the ET interference, dark force interference, all those kinds of things that can be at play in an issue. And you'll recognize them by experience. Oh, this is that, this is this. And you'll have an approach for dealing with and addressing with those things. Ultimately, all healing is done from the divine, from pure presence, light, awareness, love. And that's where the juice to do this comes from. It's not an egoic thing. It's something that we surrender to the flow of healing, the flow of grace, and we want it to happen through us, but we've become a really good vehicle for it by practicing these technical skills. Cool. All right. And for some people, they're already, yeah, exactly. Some people have been there hundreds of times. Yeah, you might already be working on people. You might already be seeing lots of energy. You might be and then this course is just going to really give you the essay framework, or Bonnie's method, the Bonnie Serratore method for working with those things, for going deeper with them. And typically, for me at least, the process looks like it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So whatever you're aware of just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. There are more and more layers to unravel. There are more things to become aware of. There's more, those fundamental skills just become stronger and stronger. The skills taught in the class that I think of as these core healing skills are tracking, which is actually being able to, well, let's move back one. Let's say sensing energy. So sensing and being aware of energy when you're with someone. That's like sensing. Tracking would be then, okay, you go into that energy and you start tracking it to where it's coming from, being able to discern the past lives, being able to discern what's coming from the ancestral genetic consciousness, being able to discern what isn't them, but it's more like a mass humanity thing, or it's coming from a position that their parents actually had, all of that kind of stuff, or that's from an event that they haven't processed, a trauma, and being able to actually track and recognize those things. That's tracking. Then there's clearing. So being able to actually then, after you've tracked the issue, to be able to get light into that issue and unravel it in specifically the way it needs to happen, which may involve, working with beings. It might involve clearing trauma. It might involve going to past lives. Whatever it involves, being able to clear it. Another skill that I like to think about is bridging. So getting your awareness and consciousness really into that place makes you more effective. The more deep you can go into the energy, the more you can unravel it. And it takes a certain skill that I also think we want to develop on the course. So those are 4 sort of practical skills to do with healing that we're developing. And I guess the 5th skill that they all come from would be awareness. And that's more of like a deepening or an awakening. And everyone is on their own relationship with that in their past. But this course will also try and take you deeper with that That's where all this work really comes from, and that's our nature. So it's natural in a certain level. Cool. And do I do one-to-one sessions? Yep, I do one-to-one clearings. What might we do to best prepare for the start of the course next month? Really good question. Really cool question. It might be a little different for everybody, but I'll give some a very general thing that you can follow. Start by spending a bit of time every day opening to feel your body, opening to feel yourself. So spend a bit of time in the morning, a bit of time in the evening, sit down and just go, okay, I'm going to feel whatever I can feel. And even if that's tension, numbness, your physical body, however it feels, just let yourself feel it with no agenda, not trying to change it, not trying to do anything with it. Just let yourself feel what's there. Some days you might get a lot of stuff coming up because there was more going on, or you're more open. Some days it might feel like there's nothing much to feel. Just keep doing it. If you do that every day, your energy will start really opening up, and all this stuff will start moving. You'll get different emotions, you'll get different visuals, things will start coming out. Your system will start opening up. So that's very helpful for most people. We're all shut down from our emotional issues to some degree, and that shutting down also impacts our energetic sensing. So if we can engage with that, then our system begins to open up and our sensing will open up. And that means you'll be able to get more out of sensing other people the more open you are. We're typically closed to sensing the energy of other people because we're closed towards feeling our own stuff. We're closed down from wanting to engage with it. So we want to open that up. Also, any practice which conditions your energy body, so pranayama, breathing, yoga, tai chi, being in nature, exercise in general, if you can condition your energy system so that it's nice and strong, then you will have more juice to engage with this system and get more out of it. It's just the stronger your energy system is, the more you can use it for, really. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Other than that, it's very useful if you have a good meditation practice, but that is up to you. And yeah, if that's part of your life. The other thing is that I think is very cool is if you have a devotional relationship with the divine, where you have an aspect of the divine. It could be sort of just a sense of universal light. It could be a divine avatar like Jesus. It could be a sense of the divinity as nature. But to sit and to fall in love with it and let that love open you, that can be tremendously healing and actually becomes a bridge for healing that you can share with others. So those are all things that you could do to get the ball rolling. All right. My ADHD makes me go from one thing to another. It's really cool that you bring that up because I've been thinking I'm very likely an ADHD person. All my friends with ADHD tell me that I likely am. I have the dyslexia and dyspraxia labels from my childhood, but that's the ADHD one I haven't got an official label for, a badge for, but I probably am. And I think that there's a certain an overlap between, I think of it as non-linear processing and people with certain types of neurodivergencies, where essentially, actually, there seems to be, to me, a lot of overlap between perceiving things from a sort of multi-dimensional perspective and some of those sort of general patterns of neurodiversity. And I think people with that kind of patterning tend to be very good at big picture pattern recognition, i.e. sensing energy and tracking energy. So I think that actually it's an asset. Often your sort of wiring means you're quite good at this. On a certain kind of level. So yeah, I'm thinking about it a lot. And I think it's an interesting subject.
So Chris, just so you know, I don't know how to leave this without shutting it down. So when I've got a client in 1 minute, so we're going to have to close this down so I can
all right.
My client, unfortunately. Sorry, guys, but yeah.
This has been really fun. All right, well, I'll see those of you who we've talked to on the course, next month, and really excited to see you there. And for the people that are curious about it, the course will run again. So, we'll there's going to be more chances to study with me and Bonnie. Yeah, but cool.
All righty. All right, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.